Today the biggest news comes from the Black Sea. Ukraine's strategy of targeting Russia's shadow fleet logistics has already resulted in 3 naval vessels taken out of commission in rapid succession, raising the risks of operating anywhere near Russian export routes. The results of this strategy turned out to be much more immediate and devastating than expected, with companies already pulling out their ships from the Russian shadow fleet and reassessing whether they can remain in the Black Sea and continue enabling the illicit Russian oil trade at all. The loudest signal came from Besiktas Shipping, which stopped all cooperation with Russia after one of its tankers was damaged near Senegal. The company emphasized that it had operated within formal sanctions rules, even though its vessels still ended up serving roads connected to Russia's shadow fleet logistics. Besiktas controls around 15 oil and chemical tankers, removing several 100,000 tons of annual carrying capacity from Russia's rotation the moment it withdrew. This is exactly the outcome Ukraine aimed for, and the speed at which a major carrier pulled out shows the strategy is working far earlier than even Kyiv expected. Losing even this handful of compliant, insurable ships pushes Russia toward older, high-risk vessels. With around half of the 500 tankers carrying sanctioned Russian crude being foreign-owned and leased, more companies adopting the same stance would strip Russia of a large share of the fleet that keeps its exports moving. If every foreign lessor withdrew, Russia would lose access to roughly half of its seaborne oil export capacity, which translates into more than $100 billion per year in lost revenue and would erase over a quarter of the federal budget that depends on oil and gas taxes. This exposes the structural weakness of relying on leased tonnage, as Moscow cannot compel it to stay, while Ukraine can convince them of the contrary. The importance of the Black Sea route makes these shifts even more consequential, as ports such as Novorossiysk and Tuapse previously handled roughly 1/5 of Russia's seaborne crude and oil product exports, forming a core component of federal revenue. Oil and gas income still provides roughly 1/3 of the national budget and around 15% of GDP, making any sustained disruption immediately felt. If insurers restrict trips into the Black Sea and shipowners judge the risks too high, the impact becomes severe. Export volumes fall, Russia grows more dependent on older vessels with weaker compliance records, and each withdrawal introduces new scheduling gaps and revenue instability. Moscow's early reaction shows how exposed it feels, because after only 2 tankers in the Black Sea were destroyed and another damaged off Senegal, President Vladimir Putin publicly threatened to cut Ukraine off from the sea unless the attacks stop. Russian commentators speculated about targeting merchant vessels heading to Ukrainian ports or declaring parts of the Black Sea unsafe for navigation. In practice, these options are extremely limited. Ships supplying Ukraine operate under multiple flags and are insured by Western companies that have already accepted war risk coverage to keep the corridor open. Any strike on that traffic risks confrontation with states that have avoided direct involvement, including Turkey, which controls the straits Russia still relies on. Escalation at sea would therefore strengthen Ukraine's position more than Russia's. The only alternative would be to remove Ukraine's ability to stage naval attacks altogether, requiring an offensive towards Odessa or along the southern coast. Yet Russia's battlefield performance makes this implausible. At the current rate of advance, Russian forces would not reach the administrative border of Donetsk till August 2027. Even with significant manpower deployed, progress remains measured in meters per day in Donetsk, and opening a new front would only further stretch logistics, require contested river crossings, and recreate the vulnerabilities that allowed Ukraine to cripple Russian supply lines during the Kherson counteroffensive. Under current conditions, a move to isolate Odessa would likely create more problems than it solves for the Kremlin. Overall, Russia's options are shrinking just as Ukraine's maritime strategy begins to show results. If Moscow targets commercial shipping, it risks dragging neutral states into the conflict, and if it attempts to cut Ukraine off from the Black Sea, it faces another costly military failure. Meanwhile, shipowners are stepping back, insurers are tightening requirements, and the Black Sea corridor that once carried a major share of Russia's exports is becoming increasingly unreliable. At the current pace, Russia is on track to lose much of its Black Sea export capacity long before it can mount an effective response. On a final note, for everyone who has missed our last video message, I will attach it here one time. Hello everyone, in this video I want to announce major changes for the Reporting from Ukraine channel. Today marks 1 year since we launched our independent news website, and we would like to offer you something cool for your kind support, so please watch this short video till the end. As you remember, this was a necessary step forward because of the constant censorship problems. In fact, they never stopped. For example, recently 2 of our channels in other languages have been demonetized again. Another 2 channels got their membership suspended. And the main channel in English suffers from the demonetization of videos for things like not fully blurred images of fire or smoke. And sometimes the videos get outright deleted by YouTube. It is your support through our website during this whole long year that has kept us running and has truly made a difference. It allowed us to double the number of reports we produce and to launch new language channels to share reports with more people. By subscribing to our website, you will not only get all exclusive strategic updates, but also unlock articles and, most importantly, the interactive map. Since our reports can only cover one topic at a time, to complement the coverage, we are publishing up to 40 additional short news summaries on our interactive map every day, including uncensored combat footage. We have also developed advanced news analysis tools that can help you with context, trends, and perspective. Today is also the last day of our 60% discount on all subscription plans. You can claim your discount by clicking the link in the description. If you have any difficulties on the website, please let me know via the support form on the website, and I will be happy to help you. Thank you once again for your unwavering support. This website is the cornerstone of our independence, allowing us to deliver the most important news without censorship or platform restrictions.